Sorry?
Do we hand these out at a certain moment?
Yanai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yanai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yanai dai dai. Yanai dai 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 yai dai dai dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yanda dai 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 yanda dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Good Shabbos, everybody. Welcome in as you're getting settled. Won't you join us in this melody? We don't have to worry about Hebrew or English or any words at all. Just open the heart and sing out. Yanai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yanai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai yai dai dai dai. Yai dai dai dai. Yanai dai dai dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai dai. Let's hear you. Die, 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 die. Exactly. If you haven't figured it out, we always come back to that one line. Die, 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 die. It's the Jewish equivalent of a power chord to sing that. Die, 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 die. Can we all try that together? 3, 4. Die, 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 die. It's okay if you're still feeling a little shy. I promise by the end of the service you won't feel shy anymore. One more time. Let's all sing out. Die. Die, 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 die. Yai, die, 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 die. Oh, you sound great. You're getting it. Die, 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 die. Yai, die, 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 die. Yan, die, 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 yai, die, die, die. Yan, die, 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 die. Yai, die, 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 die. Yai, die, 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 die. Yai, die, die, die. Yai, die, 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 die. Page 128 in your blue prayer book. 128. 128. Hine matovu manaim, how good and pleasant to be together with brothers, sisters, cousins by extension, and friends. Hine matovu manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. That repeats. Hine matovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Yeah, sing it out. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Oh, with that kind of ruach, with that kind of spirit in the room, I know that this will be a beautiful service experience for us all. I know that it will also be a beautiful experience for us all because we have many special guests here tonight and one wedding couple here tonight, which is a very big, special privilege to have you guys here, Barbara and Leon. We'll hear from you in just a moment. And Ruthie, too, apparently changed her name with a name tag. Which Levi likes to do too. Actually, the first time he found my name tag, he found it very distressing to feel a name tag. So I can't wait until he gets to your phase and it's okay again. Since we have so many guests and new friends here tonight, this is an excellent opportunity for us to briefly put our prayer books to the side, reach out to somebody sitting near us, and greet two new people who. All right, friends, in just a moment, we'll kindle the lights of Shabbat together. And before we do that, we have every single week since October 7th of last year taken this moment to offer a prayer for all those in captivity. A tefillah lepidyon hashivuyim, a prayer for the redemption of those taken captive. I invite anybody who came in and received a small slip of lined paper with names on it, the names of those hostages. Please rise at this time if you're comfortable doing so. Those who have the names of the hostages will read them simultaneously. The name of every living hostage will be read, and we will, as we hear their names, meditate on their lives, think about their families, and pray that they be reunited as soon as humanly possible with their dear ones. Friends, please read their names this time. Thank you. Everyone else can please rise. Achenu ve'achiotenu kol beit Yisrael, hanatunim b'tzara u'v'shivya, ha'omdim bein bayam u'vein bayabasha. Hamakom yirachem aleihem, ve'yotzi'em mitzara l'ravacha, u'me'afela la'ora, u'mishiabud legeula. Hashta ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Together, our brothers and sisters, the whole house of Israel, who are in distress and captivity, who wander over sea and over land. May God have mercy on them and bring them from distress to comfort, from darkness to light, from slavery to redemption, now, swiftly, and soon. May this be our fervent prayer. Amen, amen, amen. And as we picture their reunification with their loved ones, we bring the light of Shabbat, and that light will shine out in the hope across the Jewish people. I invite Lisa and David Harding to please come forward to light Shabbat candles at this time. Everybody can have a seat and turn to page 120, page 120, for the Shabbat candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik Shabbat Shalom. Thank you very much. Kabbalat Shabbat, our service of welcoming Shabbat's presence into our midst, begins on page 130 with Lichu Niranena. Come, let us raise out a shout, a joyful sound to Adonai. Let us sing out to the rock of our deliverance. And it starts with this melody. Ooh, ooh, ooh. By now, hopefully you've learned this is not a concert. When you come to TBT, you're part of the show. Let's try it together. Ooh. Adonai Nariya, Letzur Yishenu, Letzur Yishenu, Lekadma Fana, Fana, Vetoda, Bizmiro Nariya Lo, Lekadma Fana, Vetoda, Bizmiro Nariya. Now that's a joyful noise. Lechu neranena, Adonai nariya, Litzur yishenu, Litzur yishenu. Lechu neranena, Adonai nariya, Litzur yishenu, Litzur yishenu. Mikadma fana, Vetoda bizmiro nariya lo nikadma fana vetoda bizmiro nariya lo ooh ooh Yandai rai rai rai, yai rai rai rai, yandai rai rai rai, yandai rai, yandai rai, yai rai 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 rai, yai rai 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 rai, yandai rai rai rai, yai rai rai, yandai rai, yandai rai rai rai, yandai rai, yandai rai, yandai rai rai rai, yandai rai. Page 131. Shiru ladonai, shir chadash, shiru ladonai, kol haaretz, shiru ladonai, baruchu shemo, basru meyom leyom yeshuato, sapru vagoim kevodo bechol ha'amim nifleotav ki gadol Adonai umulal meod. Halfway through that first paragraph, norahu al kol Elohim ay rai rai ki kol Elohei ha'amim eleilim va'adonai shamayim asa hod vehadar lefanav עוז ותפארת במקדשו. ינדai דai דai ינדai. Bottom paragraph. ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, או ירם הים ומלואו ינוס עדי וכל אשר בו. יאי רי רי אז ירננו כל עצי יער לפני אדוני כי בא לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל וצדק ועמים באמונתו. ינדai דai 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 ינדai דai 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 יאי דai 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 yai rai 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 yai yai rai rai yai rai rai yandai rai 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 yandai rai 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 yandai rai rai rai. It's okay to clap your hands. Yandai rai 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 yandai rai 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 yandai rai 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 yandai rai yandai rai yandai rai 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 yandai rai yandai rai yandai rai 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 yandai rai 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 yai rai 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 yandai rai 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 yai rai rai rai. Page 138. Here's another opportunity for some call and response. The melody for Lecha Dodi, this capstone psalm of our Kabbalat Shabbat service. I sing a line, you sing it back. Lecha Dodi, Dodi. That's the tricky part, right? You got to reach for that high note. Lecha Dodi, Dodi. Yeah, there's some pros in the room. For everybody who doesn't know it, you'll get it very quickly, okay? So let's try singing that together. The chorus goes like this. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'divor echad, Yishmi'anu האל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלם, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלם, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. זוב מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, together. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי. כבוד אדוני עלייך ניגע. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Please rise. We face the entrance to our space to welcome Shabbat. Verse 9. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Please have a seat, everybody. Page 142. Page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Wonderful, as always, for Mando Man to be joining and jamming with us to help Shabbat feel real and musically delightful. At this time, I'd like to invite up a wedding couple, Barbara and Leon. That's you. Unless there are any other wedding couples who are getting married this weekend. Hey, you guys. Good Shabbos. You can stand right here facing one another, right here. Perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. You can back up like one step. Okay, cool. So you all might recognize Barbara and Leon for a couple of different reasons. One, maybe, Barbara was your religious school student or something like that back in the day. Also, they were here not so very long ago. Was it last spring that you were here for Ruthie's naming? Yeah. When little Ruthie, who we saw briefly, and I know is on to other things at the moment, received her Hebrew name. Now, usually these things go in a different order, and you had every intention to get married in the Jewish custom many years ago. But then came COVID and complications and international travel and all the rest. And so they got married according to the civil law of the land, but they are not yet official in the Jewish tradition. Not yet, that is, until this weekend. Yeah, somebody should get the kids soon, although this is going to take a minute. So Leon and Barbara are going to be married this Sunday, and at this special occasion, they have the opportunity to come for a special blessing. So, that being the case, I'm going to invite Leon and Barbara. Please turn to one another and take hands. Yes, that hand. Leon and Barbara, you've taken one another by the hand. These are the hands of your best friend. These are the hands that are young and strong and full of love, each of you for the other. These are the hands that will be holding yours on your wedding day.
as you promise to love each other today, tomorrow, and forever. These are the hands that will work and have worked alongside yours, whether it's domestic work or work from home work or juggling the family and the professional schedules at different times of day and night work. These are the hands that will passionately love and cherish you throughout the many years. These are the hands that will hold you when fear or grief fills your mind. These are the hands that will countless times wipe the tears from your eyes, tears of sorrow, tears of joy. These are the hands that will tenderly, and already are tenderly, holding your beautiful daughter. The hands that will help you to hold your family together as one. These are the hands to give you strength when you need it. And lastly, and you can look down at one another's hands, these are the hands that even when they look a little older, maybe you have a few more lines and wrinkles than they currently do, will still be reaching out, each to the other, still giving you the same unspoken tenderness and joy with just a touch. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yivarech et hachatan ve'et hakala. May the one who blessed our ancestors, our mothers and our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, also bless this groom and this bride in this very meaningful time in their lives. V'yatzliach et darkam asher yelchu ba mehayom v'hala. Yachdav yimtzeu tamid chen v'chesed be'enei kol roehem. ויזכו לבנות בית בישראל לשם תהילה, ויהי שלום בביתם ושלווה והשקט בליבותם, כל הימים אשר הם חיים על האדמה, ואת השוש אבנים, ואת כל היושבים פה, והוא יברך בכל הטוב ויאריך ימיהם בעיניהם, וישליח ברכה והצלחה בכל מעשה ידיהם, עם כל ישראל אחיהם, ונאמר אמן. And that means, God, will you bless this bride and this groom? May their marriage be a joy and a good example to all who know them. May they fashion a Jewish home worthy of praise, a secure refuge where they find tranquility during all their days together. Tranquility includes screaming children, by the way, in case you didn't know that. Trust me, I know. May the love of this couple inspire and bless their family who are here tonight and more to come into town, their friends, and our whole community, because we're very happy to be able to do this in the context of your home congregation with your very happy parents looking on. I see them right there. Together, friends, we can say Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. I'm now going to invite you for no particular reason to, here's Ruthie. I don't know if Ruthie's going to want to be a part of this point, but maybe we'll leave it up to you. I'm going to invite you to, for no particular reason, walk very slowly down that aisle. And if you brought any padding or helmets with you, that probably would be a good time to take that out. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov siman tov u'mazel tov siman tov yehi lanu u'lecho Yisrael yehi lanu u'lecho Yisrael yehi lanu u'lecho Yisrael yehi lanu u'lecho Yisrael. Good. The only rule is that anybody who wants to enjoy this candy has to clean up the candy after the service. All right. Mazal tov, Barbara. Mazal tov, Leon. To be continued. In the meantime, our service continues on page 146. Please rise. 146. page 146. And if you have the brackets on your prayer book, look at the bracketed page numbers. Page 146. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Page 148, we read together a prayer for the evening. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night, and distinguishing one from the other. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, en chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, amari v'aravi. Page 150, Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha Avta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, B'shochbeinu u'bekumeinu, נשיח לחוכך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נהגי יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. We turn the page for Shema Yisrael, the watchword of the Jewish belief. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod, Shem Kivod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. We can have a seat, friends. We continue on page 154. 154. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם. בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, Adonai Elohechem Emet. We'll have a volunteer who can help direct our hearts to our freedom song with a little English intention, a little English kavanah. Would anybody like to come up here and read on the top of page 157? Any volunteers? Oh, they're so shy tonight. I don't know why. Oh, okay, Joshua. Perfect. Please, so everyone can hear you, including our friends on the stream. We can all wave shalom, by the way, to all those joining us on the stream tonight.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe that we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to the promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
Thank you, Joshua. That march is on page 158, our freedom song, Mi Chamocha. Let's sing together. Here we go. Yai lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 ya lai 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 ya lai 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 ya lai lai lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edar v'kodesh, noratei lo rosei pele, noratei lo rosei pele. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Here we go. ונאמר כיפת אדוני את יעקב, וגילו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Page 160. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. God, guide us with your good counsel. Be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. For us and our families, everyone we love, and our people. Ushmor tzeteinu uvoe
שלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. One way to think of this week in our Torah reading cycle is a sort of bookend to Abraham. Abraham, we met at the very beginning of the Jewish story. He and his wife Sarai and then Sarah were, of course, the very first Jewish people, the first Israelites, of course, who left their home and their ways, who found delicious candy on the bima, and who decided to take a great chance, one of the greatest chances you can possibly imagine, to leave everything you know, everyone you know behind, and go to a new place to start something brand new. And it says when God promises a covenant to Abraham, a special agreement that's not just a business contract, it's really a spiritual agreement that elevates both parties, that gives an aspirational quality to their relationship. God says, I will bless those who bless you. I will curse those who curse you, but I will bless those who bless you. I will make your name great. And through you, all the people of the world shall be blessed. V'nivrechu v'chag kol mishpechot ha'adama. All the world will be blessed. In this week's Torah portion, we see a slightly different take, and we're going to hear a little bit more about this in just a few minutes. We hear a different take from a non-Jewish person. This time it's a magician or wizard, I don't know what we would call him today, a soothsayer named Bil'am, who is tasked to curse the people. Again, blessings and curses. Curse the Israelites. Curse the Israelites, says the evil king. But every time he opens his mouth, he can't but utter words of blessing. So what's supposed to be a Torah portion full of only curses is instead beautiful poetry which contains the most beautiful blessings, one of which, by the way, makes its way into our liturgy, and we sing it on Saturday mornings here, for those of you who come to our Saturday morning services. Ma tovu alecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Remember? Ma tovu, that beautiful song. How beautiful are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel. Now, throughout this Torah portion and all of its many blessings, later the rabbis are going to note that maybe the Israelites have not had as blessed an existence throughout their entire days as this Torah portion would indicate. There's got to be a way to square all the blessings that come down in this beautiful Torah portion with the lived reality of the Jewish people in the Middle Ages. And having said that, I'm guessing you can guess what that was mostly like. It was mostly not so positive. There were lots of bright spots, but there were lots more dark spots. And so do you know what the Talmud says? And those of us who are in Torah study will dive into this a little tomorrow. The Talmud says, there's an opinion in the Talmud that says every single blessing that Bil'am, this evil magician, uttered in this Torah portion was later nullified. Every single one, except for one. And what was the blessing that was not nullified? The blessing that was allowed to stay a blessing? It was that famous blessing, Ma tovu alecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. How beautiful, how goodly are your tents, O Israel, your dwellings, Jacob and Israel. And why, asked the Talmud? Because when Bil'am says that, Bil'am means that it's going to apply to this place. He says the one blessing that remained is the synagogues and study halls. In other words, the places where Jews gather, the places where Jews meet to be Jewish intentionally together. Those are the places where, no matter how bad the world is around us, will stay places of blessing. And I happen to believe that that is true and that that stays true today. Because no matter what goes wrong in the world, no matter what harm we've befallen as a people, we know that we can always come back here and come back home.
right? I invite us to turn to page 164. Page 164. Please rise for the Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Konei Hakol, Ve'Zocher Chastei Avod ve'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei Vneihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen. Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav lehoshia. Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech meimit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukedoshim b'chol yom yehallelu selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. We continue with a moment of tefillah balachash, silent prayer or meditation. Please continue in the words of the prayer book through page 180 or the words of your heart. Take a moment, the moment that you need, and then be seated when you're ready. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי וגואלי. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you. O God, my rock and my redeemer. Ose shalom bimromah, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, ve'imeru. We pause for a moment to reflect on all of those in our community who are in need of healing. So I will take a moment to share the names that you all have shared with me, people in our congregation and in our families and in our lives who could use special extra prayers tonight. And we do pray for them. We pray for our temple members, April Diamato, Mark Warner, and Stacy Reed, and our loved ones, Connie Ambrosino, Anna Pakosh, Mickey Bart, Ginny Miller, Jay Fliss, Alice McNeil, Brian Reese, Joanne Crisulo, Soraya Casey, John Van Steenbergen, Greg Imler, Shelley Imler, Leslie Swirsky, Keith Siegel, Paul Frisman, Bruce Petroff, Kenneth Schachter, Shelley Kozlow, Beth Zagoria, Edison Goff, Rick Hamlin, Marnie Katz, Benjamin Meir Ben-Rut, Stephen Asnes, Diana Rosenberg Garabo, Shoshana Bat Sarah Esther, Hardy Schreiber, Ron Cohn, Edwin Guido, Dan McLaren, and Dan Keefe. If there are others whom we should pray for at this time, I invite you to share their names with our congregation out loud or hold them in your heart, whatever you prefer. Friends, who are we praying for tonight? Please. Bob Marquetta. Say the first name again. Yuli Sickler. Pat and Al Masori. In the merit of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, we join in these words of blessing. Misha Berach, page 371. 371. Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor Abracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mikor Abracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema. Well, for a little more of a dive into Torah, I'm very pleased to invite your friend and mine, John Katz, to offer us some words of Torah. John, did you hear those screams of joy? They're very excited out there to hear your words.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Fortuitously, the wonderful occasion of this ufuf and upcoming wedding is kind of a lead-in to what I'm going to say tonight. So it's purely coincidence, but mazal tov to Lisa and David and all your family. So this week's Torah portion, Balak, comes at a major inflection point in the story of the people of Israel. In last week's portion, the Israelites, after 40 years wandering in the desert, completed their first military conquests, capturing large territories east of the Jordan River, and they're poised to enter the land of Canaan. Starting as a group of slaves fleeing Egypt, they've become a regional power, threatening the kingdoms all around. One of those kingdoms is Moab, east of the Dead Sea to the south of where the Israelites are encamped. The Moabite king Balak sends emissaries, as Rabbi Moss told us, to hire Balaam. And I won't try not to repeat what he said. Balaam comes, and Balaam tries to 3 times to curse the Israelites, but each time the Spirit of God inspires Balaam to bless them instead. And as the rabbi said, the most well-known one is the how fair are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel. But I want to consider a verse from the first of Balaam's blessings, which says, in reference to the Israelites, "As I see them from the mountaintops, gaze on them from the heights. There is a people that dwells alone, not reckoned among the nations." This verse has reverberated down through the ages and seems especially and painfully relevant to us today. What does Balaam mean? Does Israel dwell alone because they are God's chosen people? Because of their strength in numbers and military might? Or is it because they are reviled and kept separate by the nations around them? Which leads to the question, is this verse a blessing or a curse, or is it both? In the verse right before this verse, Balaam says, "How can I curse whom God has not cursed? How doom when Adonai is not doomed?" This sounds like a rhetorical question by which Balaam explains to Balak that he's unable to curse the Israelites. But might it also be a real question that Balaam is pondering? How can I make this apparent blessing an actual curse? And maybe the most important question about the verse, "There is a people that dwells alone, not reckoned among the nations," is, what does this mean to us now, with Israel at war and anti-Semitism on the rise throughout the world? To help us, and I will get to the happy part about the wedding, trust me. This sounds like a rhetorical question by which Balaam explains to Balak that he is unable to curse the Israelites. But might it also be, oops, I just read that, sorry. To help us think about this, let's look at a few texts and commentaries in Jewish history. One of many biblical passages celebrating the Israelites' unique status as God's chosen people is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 12, where Moses says, "God alone did guide them, no alien God alongside. God set them atop the highlands to feast on the yield of the earth, nursing them with honey from the crag and oil from the flinty rock." This outlook is continued in post-biblical commentary. In the 12th century CE, Rashi also sees Balaam's words as a blessing, writing, "This is what Israel's ancestors have given them as a prerogative, to dwell in the world alone, as in the sense, lo, this people is alone destined to inherit the world." And a 16th century commentator named Sforno interpreted this verse as follows: "In the final analysis, Israelites are the only people who will eventually populate the earth. It will be impossible to destroy them." So that's 3 sources that see this verse as a blessing. But throughout Jewish history, Balaam's prophecy has also had a dark side, which became darkest in the 20th century with the rise of the Nazis and the Holocaust. Esther Jungries, the daughter of a Hungarian rabbi, writes of her childhood experience during this Nazi era, as the clouds that had already engulfed other parts of Europe began gathering over Hungary. Our home became a gathering place for community leaders. The discussions went on late in the night. What to do, everyone asked. The answer to that question was always the same. Surely the civilized world will never countenance such beastly evil. People will protest, and Germany will find itself a pariah among the family of nations. When the sinister darkness of the Holocaust finally lifted, I heard the cry, never again. Jungreis continues, so what is the solution? The Torah tells us we are a nation destined to dwell alone, that verse again, and not considered among the nations of the world. It is in that very loneliness that we find our strength. It is in that very loneliness that we turn to our God, for God is the only one who can help us. And the sooner we realize that, the faster and the mightier our salvation will be. Following World War II, the state of Israel came into being. And again, the Jewish people faced existential threats from many directions. Yaakov Herzog, a leading Israeli rabbi and political leader in the 1960s, even wrote a book called A People That Dwells Alone. He explains his choice of title as follows. If one asks how the ingathering of exiles, which no one could have imagined in their wildest dreams, came about, how the state of Israel could endure such severe security challenges, how the unity of the Jewish people through the diaspora has been preserved, one must come back to the primary idea that this is a people that dwells alone. So Esther Jungreis and Yaakov Herzog understandably have a very different take on the concept of a people that dwells alone than the earlier quotes from Deuteronomy, Rashi, and Sforno. Yet it seems to me that all these outlooks have something in common. They fully accept the truth of Balaam's verse and see this aloneness and isolation as a source of strength and inspiration for the Jewish people. The 9.5 months since October 7th, 2023, has certainly been another of the Jewish people's darkest times, one in which it's easy to see ourselves as being alone. So, given the weight and wisdom of the sources quoted previously, given the evidence of history, given the writings of those who have taken inspiration from Balaam's words during the most difficult of times, and given the current threats we face as a people, it would be understandable to accept the premise that Israel is a people that dwells alone. But I want to suggest that Balaam's prophecy is indeed a curse, and one that we should do our best to cast off. I want to explain this in the context of the past 9.5 months. I think this traumatic period has actually highlighted how interconnected we all are. Israel relies on arms, aid, and diplomatic support from the U.S. and other allies, and that support has been unwavering during the current war. Collaboration was especially essential in defeating the attack on Israel launched by Iran on April 13th, when Israeli, American, British, and Jordanian forces intercepted all but one of the missiles and drones launched by Iran. Yet it seems that the current government is determined, the current government of Israel, is determined to embrace the status of aloneness instead of collaborating with others on strategic steps to stop the fighting, free the hostages, and provide a framework for governance of Gaza. And what about us here in the U.S.? When we see anti-Israel campus protests and hear of threats to Jewish entities, it's natural to feel like we dwell alone. But the words of 5 modern Jewish sages recently inspired me to feel otherwise. I refer to the TBT college students that spoke at the program organized by Kulanu last month. The students spoke honestly about the anti-Semitic acts and statements they had witnessed, that they all seemed optimistic, open-minded, and undaunted. They were proudly Jewish, but seemed liberated from Balaam's ancient curse/blessing. I hope that all of us can learn from these wonderful young people. And I'll end with a quote from Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, who wrote in reference to Balaam's words. I suddenly saw how dangerous this phrase is and how close it runs a risk of being a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you define yourself as a people that dwells alone, you are likely to find yourself alone, and that is not a safe place to be. Shabbat shalom.
So I really did not know at all what John was going to say tonight, but I have to say that your beautiful and insightful Devar Torah literally treats the question of tomorrow's Torah study. So if you're interested in expanding this conversation that John has just invited us into, that I actually began earlier when I talked about what is actually a blessing and what is a curse, how can we understand these words in terms of our present reality? John has made an impassioned argument agreeing with the Talmudic interpretation that does not look favorably on this idea of Jewish aloneness. But it's a nuanced issue. And if you might be interested in having that conversation, and by the way, if you've never been to a Torah study before, this could be an excellent opportunity to come to your first one in this building tomorrow at 9 a.m. A little plug. You've now all had the primer, so you can just dive into the conversation with us. It turns out the group is very welcoming to newcomers, right? Raise your hand if you're one of our Torah study crew in this. So if you might want to come to Torah study, if you've never been before and you might want to try us out, come to one of these people and talk to them about it. This is a good opportunity for us to welcome some new friends into our crew. Thank you very much, John, for your impassioned and insightful words. We now turn to the conclusion of our service with Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 586. 586. Please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, lateit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, page 591, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Please have a seat. I'd like to share this poem by Chana Senesh as we direct our hearts to a moment of memory. It's on page 595. She writes, Yesh kochavim she'oram magia arza rak kasher hem atzmam avdu ve'enam. Yesh anashim sheziv zichram me'ir kasher hem atzmam enam od betochenu. Rot eleh mavchikim becheshkat halayl. Hem shemarim la'adam et haderech. There are stars up above, so far away, their light is visible long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. And we do remember, all of us. We remember our beloveds who have gone into the world beyond those who we lost in recent days, or whom we remember especially at this season as they passed away at this time in years gone by. In our congregation, we think especially of Andrea San Marco and Ron Quain and their kids and their whole family, as Andrea's father, Marty Gluck, recently passed away in the period of Shiv'ah. If there's anyone who is here to observe a yortzeit, when I read the name of your loved one, please feel free to stand and stay standing if you're comfortable doing so. Tonight we remember Laurel Vlock, Sarah Birkenholtz, Beverly Tutel, Bert Gould, Eva Summer, Jenny Levy, Herman Zagoria, Stanley Altman, Stuart Norman Handelman, Rhoda Fliss, Esther Simon, Ruth Pepper, George Josephson, Helene Pack, Robert E. Shore, and Helen Yezin. If there are others who are here to say Kaddish, who are in a period of mourning, whether it's the Shiva or the Shloshim, the 7 or 30 days following a loss, the Shana, which is a year following a loss of an immediate relative, or whether you're observing a yortzeit, feel free to rise at this time and be recognized within our community. I invite everyone to please rise in solidarity with the mourners as we rise in solidarity with our entire people who are in mourning tonight following that tragic drone attack, just the latest casualty in this horrific war. Page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'amlich malchute, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'alam u'le'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'it hadar, v'it alev, v'it halal, shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace grant peace to our world. May those who are bereaved find comfort in their grief as together we say, amen. Ose shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, amen. Friends, please have a seat. I'd like to welcome Robin Baslaw and Susan Smith to please come to the bima. I wasn't actually clear which of you or both are delivering the announcements. I guess it's a team effort. Here, please come over here. This mic's a little better for you.
And a warm welcome to all our guests who are here with us tonight. And thank you for a beautiful service, Rabbi. Mando Man. And thank you, John. Here we are. I'm Rob Basil.
Co-chairs. We have an act at some point. We're co-chairs of the Social Justice Committee.
Immediately following Shabbat this evening, please join us for the Oneg, sponsored by the Harding family.
It's not a bit.
In celebration of the Ufruf of Barbara Harding and Leon Simcha. Mazal Tov.
And join us at 8 a.m. tomorrow in person or on Zoom for mindfulness and meditation with Torah study immediately following at 9 a.m., both in person or on Zoom. led this week by Rabbi Moss, as we have heard. You can find the links to both events in your inbox. And for some fun, we have Bring Your Favorite Dish and join us at the Goldberg Residence back there on July 22nd, a Monday from 5:30 to 7 for a potluck dinner, swimming in the lake. It says on the lake, but I'm hoping it's in the lake, and some outdoor fun, and RSVP to Karen if you haven't already done so, and her email is in your inbox. And next week's Shabbos service, Rabbi? At East Wharf Beach. So welcome to the shoreline.
Oh, okay, my turn. Pizza and bingo will be returning again on August 7th at 6 p.m. Please refer to your week ahead at TBT email for RSVP.
And we'd like to put in a plug, since we're a team now as your social justice co-chairs. Please join the Social Justice Committee. We're going to do some amazing work this year, looking at various forms of injustice, both along the shoreline and more globally. And we're hoping to put our collective efforts to righting some of the wrongs that we all talk about and should be doing more to prevent or work for. So please let us know, and hopefully you can join the committee.
So our next meeting is this coming Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Right here in this very spot.
So
Right out there. Lastly, so we're beginning with the 2024 backpack drive, of which many of you are familiar. Donations are accepted via email or through Shul Cloud, and your support will help all the children in our community start school off with all the right stuff, feeling good about themselves and knowing they belong to a caring community.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Susan. Gosh, are we lucky to have you in that role. What a perfect role for you. And I know that big things are going to happen on social justice this year, so stay posted. What did I miss? Oh, don't be so modest. Well, I hope, friends, that we can greet one another and celebrate the double simcha, this, well, actually triple simcha, sorry. I don't think Barbara approved of that joke. Double simcha of the Shabbos and also the wedding couple. And in their honor, I'm very grateful, as are we all, that Lisa and David have sponsored a beautiful oneg. So please do join us right after the service. I know it's very tempting to schmooze in here, and there's candy to do it, but the food in that room is way better. So please, let's all go straight there to make kiddush and enjoy one another's company. We'll close our service. Oh, one more thing. Next week's Beach Shabbat, 6 p.m. 6, not 6:30. So if you want to come, be there and be square, and we'll have a special oneg afterwards too at a nearby home. Page 625, 625. Adon Olam is our closing song. It's been a while since we've sung this melody. I think it's worth bringing it back.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Le'it Nasa, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech, Shemo Nikra, Ve'acharei ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם
אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא, אחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה ותפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה ותפארה. Stanza 3. והוא אחד ואין שני להמשילו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה. והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חבלי ועת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא. וידו אפקיד רוחי ואל תשן והעירה, ואם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה ותפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה ותפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה ותפארה. Shabbat shalom everybody.